Oh, my ideas.
Be able to hear the sound coming through okay?
It's coming through good.
Thank you for being here. Can you tell me if the sound is okay coming through? Well, hopefully as we get going, the sound will work out all right. See you guys online. Silvia, gracias. Great, thank you. I don't think so, unless there's one back there. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to those online. This is always it's been a while since I've tried to do this hybrid, so let's hope that it works for those who are joining in from different places and for all who are here. So others may sprinkle in, so we may have to adjust around. But, we made it. It's raining here in Michigan and Ann Arbor, so everybody's coming in kind of wet. So a good activity to do here on a Friday evening. Yes, today is my 40th birthday. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I love bringing people together and doing this, creating, being in spaces like this. And so, you know, for my birthday, it'd be nice to do this. And also, in this past year, as part of the social work studies that I've been doing, I did an independent study that took me with International Samaritan, organization that's based here in Ann Arbor that was founded by a Jesuit 30 years ago and a group of high school students. We've been going as a parish the past few years to Guatemala and Honduras. And so some of us here have participated in that. But this independent study that I did with social work was over in Eastern Africa, in Kenya, Uganda, and Ethiopia, and was working with the team to develop some mental health resources. How can we as an organization, with the local team, help support people, young people who live inside, in many cases, or adjacent to the big city garbage dumps? And whose parents or they themselves make a living collecting the trash that goes into the city garbage dump, then they kind of will collect it and resell it. And so this organization is working hand in hand with the local community to, most of all, to help support people to go to school, young people to help them, because often paying even minimal school fees is a challenge in this setting. And so the organization has almost 1,000 young people through the 8 different countries that are helping them go to school, holistic scholarships. So in addition to school fees, uniforms, food supplements for families. But as being part of this organization and studying social work and being a priest, what maybe I could do to lean into to incorporate kind of views from my studies. And so it was a really wonderful part of this year to be able to spend time in these communities, experience the cultures there. And so yeah, so I went back there over spring break about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And we can turn the church, sorry, let's turn the church speaker up. We have Spanish First Communion practice happening upstairs in the church. And So yeah, so going back there, but then this is an ongoing project, and as we know, there's a lot of funding being cut in a lot of communities like this, and so fortunately, International Samaritan wasn't reliant upon exclusively on federal funding, but partly that. So yeah, so thank you for being here. Thank you for being able to donate and to help out the ongoing work of this organization. And we have a trip through St. Mary that we do each year. So if you're ever interested in being part of one of these trips. Okay, so that's just a little bit on that. I know a number of people have been part of these experiences that we've done, and Alan is here with me, who him and I have been co-facilitating these with other team members, other people throughout the years. 12 years ago, we met and have been found in ourselves being very guided by and passionate about Ignatian spirituality and yoga. And as we practice one or study one, we see points of connections, right? And realize, oh, this reminds me of being a contemplative in action, finding God in all things in Ignatian spirituality, discernment from the yoga tradition helps to be able to enter into our prayer and deepen in our relationship with God. So to be able to calm the mind. So yoga, one of the classical definitions of yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the calming of the movements of the mind so that the seer can abide in one's true self. And so whether we're Catholic or Christian or another religious tradition or not a religious tradition, people can practice yoga and find benefit in it. But for me and for many of us as Catholics, as followers of Jesus, we've found great benefit in yoga. And so this evening, I invite you to just at the end of perhaps a long week, lots of transition, the school year is ending, there's a lot of buzz in the town here right now. And so I invite you just to settle, to find some peace and calm this evening. Perhaps this is a prayer. Perhaps your movement, your time of breathing, moving is a way of drawing closer to God. Say often the only requirement is to breathe. Right? So if you want to lay on your mat, just be, you can do that. If you need to slow down, speed up, if you need to skip anything or add anything. I'm going to do my best to demonstrate. I might tap on Alan to come at some point because I'm working with a little bit of a neck injury here myself, so we'll see how it goes. All right, to begin, let's just find a comfortable posture. So whether that's laying down on your back or seated cross-legged or sitting in Virasana hero's pose as I'm sitting back on my legs, back on my feet. Just take a little time to settle now that we've arrived, and a little context here. Just beginning to settle, softening and deepening your breath. I want you to place yourself in God's presence, feeling the breath of God, the Spirit breathing into you, breathing life. As you exhale, just releasing out any of the tension, distractions, worries, anxieties you may have. As we begin, I invite you to set an intention for today's class or a grace that you seek. St. Ignatius would say at the beginning of a prayer period to set in, what is the grace that you seek? What do you desire? What do you most deeply want? Perhaps in this Easter season, it is a time to experience the living Christ, the risen Christ. Perhaps feeling a sense of hope and joy. Your next few breaths, let's find our way to a seated posture. Just gently starting to rise and coming to your seat on the mat. Beginning with some gentle rolls with the shoulders, just taking the shoulders up towards the ears, wrapping them back and down your back. Taking a few circles each direction. Beginning some movement with the head, taking your chin down towards the chest. And then your inhale, rise up, gaze up at the ceiling. Inhale, chin towards chest. A couple more times like this, rising up. You can either keep bringing the head up and down or maybe taking the head around in circles if that feels safe and comfortable. Not working with any major neck issues right now. Next, come back to center and reaching your hands to the sky. Your exhale, take a twist around to the left, taking your right hand to your left knee, your left hand behind you, and like a kickstand, press that hand into the ground, lengthen the spine and twist. Staying here for a couple breaths, your inhale to lengthen and the exhale to twist. Coming back to center, reach the hands up to the sky and twist to the other side, over to your right side or the other side you did before. Your inhale, lengthen, your exhale, soften to the twist. And coming back to center, reach the hands back up to the sky. And exhale, fold forward, just folding over the crossed legs. Staying here for a few breaths. Your inhale to lengthen, and your exhale, just folding in to the legs towards the ground. Just coming back up to your seat. Just lengthen the legs for a moment. Just stretch out the legs, flex point feet. We'll recross the legs the other way, the way that maybe you don't sit in as often. We'll reach the hands to the sky and take a side bend over to the left side, bringing your left hand to the ground, right hand reaches up to the sky and side bend over. Finding length in the right side body. Next, inhale, reaching up to the sky and side bend over to the other side. Rounding down through the left sit bone as you reach up and over. Feel that lengthening, lengthen extension. Come on back to center and fold forward over the legs, across the other way. Taking a few breaths. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to soften into the fold. Slowly rise back up. And shift forward or swing the legs around as we come into our hands and knees tabletop. Finding your foundation. Just feeling the solid ground beneath you. The beginning of the spiritual exercises, St. Ignatius, as the principle and foundation. Talks about the purpose, the goal of life is for a human being to be in relationship with God, to see all as gift and to make a return of that. So may we embrace this invitation to see all as gift, beginning right here with our bodies and our breath. So let's begin some cat-cows. Inhale, lift the head up to the sky, shine the heart upwards, arch the low back. And exhale, tuck the tailbone, chin towards chest. Taking a few on your own. Inhale as you send the heart upwards, gaze between the eyebrows. And exhale to curve the spine. I'm going to take it nice and slow, but if you're like needing a little more intensity, you can speed it up, add in double time here. Coming back to hands and knees, let's ground the left hand and take the right hand up to the sky. Roll the wrist around, finding some movement in that wrist joint. And then threading the needle through, taking your right arm underneath the left, take the right shoulder, right side of the face to the ground. And use the left hand to press into the ground as you point your elbow up to the sky. And gently release, unthreading the needle, taking your arm back up to the sky for a moment. And then returning back to hands and knees, back to your foundation. Grounding through the right hand, take the left hand up to the sky. Roll that wrist joint around a few times. As you thread the needle, now taking the left arm, left shoulder down to the ground, left side of the face. Press the right hand into the ground. Feel that twist in the spine. And as you're ready, begin to make your way back to hands and knees. Let's tuck the toes under. Take a little toe stretch So with the toes tucked under, you can start to sit up on your knees. So this will depend on how much you want to go, how much intensity. Just sit back on your feet with the toes tucked under. You start to feel it pretty quickly. If it's too much, you can lean forward a little bit to take a little pressure off. If it's too much to be up, you can bring your hands back to the ground. Or just staying for 4 or 5 deep breaths. Can you just breathe into that space where you're feeling some tension, some tightness? Finding your breath, right? Sometimes we feel a moment of discomfort, of adversity, and we pull away from it. And we practice being in it, being with a little bit of the struggle. And then releasing, untucking the toes, and maybe giving those toes a little tap. Let's prepare for our first downward dog. So tucking your toes under, pushing the ground away from you, and sending your hips up and back. This first downward dog, pedal out the legs, bend one knee and straighten the other. Press one hand into the ground and then the other. And your next inhale, shift forward, come to plank, top of the push-up. Just find your hand to feet distance, your wrists under the shoulders. Now take your hips up and back. Keep your hand to feet distance there. Kind of a way of measuring out your hand to feet distance. Push the ground away from you, sending your hips up and back. Let's do that one more time. Shift forward, plank, and lower this time. Lower your knees, chin and chest to the ground. Then take your heart through, come to low cobra, lifting the heart up to the sky, lengthen the neck, soften the shoulders down the back, and then tuck your toes under, downward dog. Bending those knees, walk your feet to the top of the mat. Come to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold. 2 more times like this. Inhale, flat back, so I could put a cup of tea on your back and it wouldn't spill. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, lengthen the neck. Exhale, hold forward and hang for a few breaths here. Bend your knees. So I was with Father Jim Martin last weekend, and he's like remembered when Alan and I visited him. He says every time he stretches, he thinks of us because he says, I can't do yoga. I'm not flexible. I can't touch my toes. I said, well, then bend your knees. So he always thinks of our contribution as he's now over in Francis's funeral. So bend those knees as much as you need and allow yourself to hang, find some length in the neck. One vertebra at a time, come to standing at the top of the mat. Reach the hands up to the sky. And exhale, hands to your side. Let's move through this sun salutation a couple times. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. And exhale, fold forward, leading with your heart. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. And step or hop your feet back. Come to plank, top of the push-up. And lower down, either knees, chin, and chest, or through the push-up. Inhale to your up dog or cobra. Either way, just finding length in the neck and soften your shoulders back and down. And tuck the toes under, downward dog. Again, let's move through that. So bend your knees and walk or hop your feet between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, lower your hands down to your side. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky, back bend, open the heart, reach up and back behind you. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And step or hop back. Lowering down either knees, chin, and chest, or through the push-up halfway. Inhale to your up dog or cobra. Back to downward dog. Okay, let's inhale. Take the right leg up and back behind you. Three-legged dog. Lift that right leg up and back. We're going to come into a low lunge. So take the right foot between the hands. You may use your hand to take a couple steps to get it up there. Lower the left knee to the ground. And clasp your hands just above the right knee. Press the right knee forward. Lengthen the spine. Lengthen the neck and the head. Either keeping your hands here clasped on the knees or reach your hands up to the sky. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a prayer twist. Left elbow to the right knee. So just coming back to center, keeping the legs right where they are. Take your hands to frame the right foot, bringing your hands on either side of the right foot, and start to straighten out the leg, coming into your half or quarter splits. Ardha Hanumanasana, pulling your right hip back, left hip forward. Your inhale, lengthen the neck, lengthen the spine. Exhale, a gentle fold over that front leg. Be scooting your heel out a little bit further and point the toes back towards you. Let's flow through the low lunge into this quarter split. So your next inhale, reach the hands up to the sky, bend through that front knee. And your exhale, take the hands back towards the ground and pull the right hip back, straighten the leg. Inhale, re-bend the front knee, hands up to the sky. Exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana, half quarter splits. One more time, inhale, reaching your hands, your heart up to the sky. And exhale over that leg, pausing for a couple breaths. Squaring up the hips, right hip pulls back, left hip forward. And re-bend that knee, and we'll step back to downward dog, or hands and knees. So you can always skip the downward dog and come to hands and knees if that's a better option at this time. Okay, let's do all that on the other side. So taking your left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. And step the left foot between the hands, lower the right knee to the ground. And take your hands, clasp the hands the other way as you press the left knee forward. You can keep the hands clasped or take the hands up to the sky. Hands can either be a steeple grip, or imagine you got a block or a beach ball between your hands and you're pressing the hands towards each other, reaching up and back. Less worried about how it looks like and more how it feels. Nice. Coming into our prayer twist, hands to heart center, and take that right elbow to the right knee. Coming back to center, squaring your torso over that leg and coming into that half or quarter splits. So pulling your hips back, the left hip back especially. Take that front heel. Maybe you have to like kind of pick up the heel and extend it a little bit further. Walk it out in front of you a little further. Point the toes back towards you. Find some length in that left leg. As you breathe for a moment, lengthen the spine. All right, let's move through this a few times. So your next inhale, bend the knee, lift the hands up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward over the leg as you pull the left hip back and straighten the left leg. Point the toes back towards you. Inhale, re-bend the knee, take the hands up to the sky. Exhale, fold over the leg. One more time. Inhale, lengthen, hands up to the sky. And exhale, fold over the leg and taking a couple breaths, getting a stretch in that hamstring. And re-bend the front knee as you step back to hands and knees or downward dog. Let's come on down to our pause button, to the child's pose, taking your knees down to the ground, the knees come wide, big toes towards each other, and lengthening your arms straight out towards the front of the mat, letting your chest rest down. Pause. One of the most important words that we need sometimes is just to take a moment before we react, right? To be able to respond more consciously. Using our breath, using our posture, maybe taking a moment, right? I don't need to react. I don't need to address everything right now in this moment. So we practice, right? We practice on our mats, how we want to be more in the world. Another definition of yoga is skill in action. We move through the world with more skillfulness, more contemplative. And we'll meet back in downward dog or hands and knees. Let's bend the knees and walk your feet between the hands again. Come to the top of the mat. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the hands up to the sky. And exhale, release your hands to the ground. Oops, I'm sorry. Don't listen to that part. I'm just testing you. See, this is good. I like having Ellen here as our model. Let's come into a wide-legged stance. So standing in a wide-legged stance, take your arms out, and so your wrists are above your ankles. All right, now that front right foot, take your right foot out towards the front of the mat and bend the front right knee so the knee stacks over the ankle, so warrior two pose. So check in with that front knee. The knee stacks right over the ankle, and that's okay. If we're facing one way or the other, we'll do both sides. So if you look down at your feet, if you drew a line from the heel of the front foot, it would line about with the arch of the back foot. Check in with the tailbone, tuck the tailbone slightly, lengthen the spine, soften the shoulders down as you gaze over the front fingertips. Turn the palms up towards the sky for a moment. Just noticing that shift, the subtle shifts of how we move our body impacts, right? Our emotions, our thoughts, right? It's all connected. Bringing your palms back down, facing the ground. Let's reverse the warrior, reaching your right hand up to the sky. The left hand can come down the left leg or wrapping around the low back. And then coming back through warrior two into side angle pose, either stacking your right elbow on top of the right knee, or hand can come inside or outside of the foot. But if you do that, I think maintaining openness in the chest and length in the side body rather than just collapsing. Okay, so let's come into that wide-legged forward fold. So just taking the torso around, bringing the feet parallel and fold forward over that wide-legged stance. You may remain here or maybe coming into a skandasana, a little kind of lunging side to side, moving a little bit side to side. And then finding your way back to center. Let's take the feet in a little bit closer, just wider than the hips. Heels in, toes out, bend through the knees. And so the knees are tracking over the toes. And we'll take a little twist, wringing out the spine. So drop the left shoulder, twist around, and then do the other side. So pressing into the inner thigh or knee as you get a nice twist of the spine. Once you've done a couple twists on each side, taking the hands to heart center, tracking those knees over the toes, maybe sitting down a little deeper, maybe not, listening to what's your body needs right now. Maybe lifting one heel, maybe the other heel, maybe both heels and just on the ball of the feet. Maybe lift one foot off the ground and then the other foot. Press the feet into the ground, reach the hands up to the sky, star pose. And release your hands down to your side. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So we can just stay right, keep our feet right where they are, and we're going to turn the back of the room, maybe come the front of the room now. So left foot turns out toward maybe it's the back of the mat now. Bend the left knee so the knee tracks over the ankle or behind it, just not kicking out to the right or the left or extending beyond the ankle. Gaze over those fingertips, soften the shoulders. Noticing the difference when you open up your palms up towards the sky. Reverse the warrior. Reach the left hand up to the sky. Right hand comes down the right leg or wraps around the low back. And keep a bend in that front knee. Or if your leg is straight, just a slightly different pose. And coming back through warrior two into side angle pose. And coming through that wide-legged forward fold. Parallel the feet and fold forward. Hands in the center or Add to your ankles or movement side to side. Let's come back to that twist. So taking your feet in a little bit closer, just wider than the hips. Heels in, toes out. Bring out the spine a couple times each side. Again, hands at heart center. Sitting down a little bit deeper into your seat. And press the feet into the ground, star pose. Let your hands come down to your side. Step the feet back together. Let's come into one more standing pose. We're going to come into our triangle pose. So just a slightly different version with the legs straight this time. So do that again. Take that wide-legged stance. This time the stance may be a little bit shorter in your triangle pose. And then turn the right foot out. So both legs are straight, or be a little micro bend to that front knee. And your back foot can angle just a little bit up towards the mat, towards the top of the mat. And then take your hands out in front of you. Extend through the front right fingertips as far as you can. And then take the right hand to the right shin. I'm going to recommend starting more like top of the shin. Some people are like, oh, to do it properly, I'm supposed to like touch the ground or something. And maybe for some people, but for a lot of us, it's better to actually be up a little bit higher so we can have length in the side body. All right, now we're going to turn the torso over the right leg and fold forward over the right leg as you step the left foot a little bit wider, a little bit closer so you can pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Okay, you can stay right here or keep the left hand down at the ground and take your right hand to the right hip as you pull the right hip back. And the option to take the right hand up to the sky in your revolved triangle. From our revolved triangle, take both hands back to the ground, bring your weight to the right foot, standing splits. Start to lift the left foot, maybe just an inch or two off the ground, maybe a couple feet, maybe straight up to the sky. Maybe there's a hop kick in there. And as you're ready, bringing the left foot back to meet the right foot, fold forward, over. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So come on back up to standing. All right, so stepping, let's do it how we did the Warrior 2 on the other side. Step the left foot out. So this time the left foot points towards the short edge of the mat. The back foot, the right foot, a little bit angle up towards what's now the front of the mat. And extend through those front left fingertips as you take your hands, the fingers to the shin, maybe the ankle, thinking of openness in the chest, length. Most of all, just breathe, feeling the sensations, noticing what comes up here. Okay, turning your torso to fold forward over the left leg. Step the right foot wider, so that wide stance, a little bit closer so you can turn your hips, the hip points forward as you fold forward over that left leg. So like be about like 2.5 to 3 feet between the feet. So it's a pretty smaller stance for a lot of us. So we can square off the hips more. And you're pulling that left hip back. So now you can stay here or keep your right hand down and take the left hand to the left hip. The left thumb can pull the hip socket back or take that left hand up to the sky. Revolved triangle. Finally, our standing splits, and you can make this your own. So bringing your weight into the left foot as you lift the right foot. Maybe just a moment lifting it off the ground or taking a hop kick or a handstand, whatever you wish. And taking your right foot to meet the left, fold forward, let all that go. We grab opposite elbow for a moment, ragdoll, just letting your head hang, releasing from that. And slowly rise, coming to standing. All right, we're going to do a couple balancing poses. And it wouldn't be a birthday party if we didn't make a circle here. So let's just take a moment you can leave your mat where you are and let's make one big circle around the periphery of the room. It's coming close enough that you can, so just a little warning of what we're going to do. We're going to try a couple balancing poses on our own, and then with putting your hand on the shoulder of the person next to you. If you aren't interested in this for any reason, you can just kind of do this on your own as well, just on the corners or outside the circle. So let's first try it on our own. So we've done this before. You've done this with me. So tree pose, and I often like the metaphor of a tree for the Trinity. So a tree, like the roots of the tree are like God, the Father that we don't always see, right? The invisible God. The trunk of the tree is like Jesus, who makes God visible to us. The sap of the tree is like the Holy Spirit, and we are the branches. Maybe try that, feeling that sense like we are distinct but not separate. We're the same as God, and yet we are creations of God. We are not separate. And that's the illusion, right? That we are separate. And so that's sin. And so the opposite of that is union, is gratitude, is awareness that God is creator of all, infused in all. All right, so let's start out tree pose. So ground down through the left foot and take your right foot to either to the left ankle, and the ball of the foot can be on the ground, or just below the knee. Or sometimes people take their foot above the knee, just not pressing right into the knee joint. You can take your hands to heart center. Maybe taking the hands up to the sky. And maybe close the eyes for a moment. Noticing what happens when we turn into a toppling tree. All right, let's try it now, bringing your hands to the shoulder of the person next to you. So we may have to come in a little bit closer. People at home, I hope you're still with us and that you can hear. Imagine you're with us here. So again, left foot grounds. Take the right foot into the inner thigh. Back to our tree pose. Especially here now, we have this sense of we are distinct. Each one of us are uniquely created, and yet we are not separate. Maybe close the eyes now and just feel the difference of noticing when we face some darkness, adversity, some struggle, we try to do it on our own. We tip over, we capsize. But when we can trust, when we can rely upon each other, rely upon God, we can move forward. We can maintain balance. It's not easy. Either keeping your eyes closed or opening the eyes and take your right knee into marcher's pose. You can stay there or lengthen the leg out in front of you. Take your leg back behind you like you're flying through the air, like we're airplanes. Bring one more. Let's take your right ankle, bend the knee, take the right ankle just above the left knee. You can release your hands. And come on back to standing. Good job. Let's try that on the other side. So let's first try it on our own. So ground down through the right foot. Left foot to the ankle, and with the ball of the foot and the toes on the ground will give you the most stability. Or if you're feeling like, yeah, I've got that balance, you can take your foot just below the knee or above the knee. Hands to heart center, up to the sky. And maybe close the eyes if you want to just give that a little experiment, a little test. All right, now let's try it again with our support. Hands to the shoulders, right foot down, left foot comes back to the inner thigh, inner knee. Maybe close the eyes if that feels comfortable, breathe. And this feeling that awareness, when we help others, we help ourselves. When we take care of ourselves, we can be most capable of helping others. This mutuality, this interconnectedness. And coming to marcher's pose, taking your left knee, maybe lengthening the leg. And coming back to our airplane. Nice. And then bringing your foot back. Last one, bending the right knee, taking your left ankle on top of the right knee. Sitting down a little deeper. And coming back to standing. Just taking a moment in your mountain pose, in your Tadasana standing pose. Just feeling what came up. Just looking around the circle. People here you can see, all the beautiful people here. Just looking around at each unique being. And let's come on back to our mats. Come into back bend, camel pose. So coming down to your knees. You're doing a good job here.
Don't do camel.
Yeah. So pressing, first option for camel pose, press with your hips right on top of the knees. Bring your hands to your low back and press your hips forward as you start to lift the heart up to the sky, drop the head slightly back, but mostly it's opening the heart as you keep those hips stacked on top of the knees. These heart openers, it's like literally can we feel kind of the clearing away of the stuff that is blocking an open heart. Can we kind of almost peeling away the layers maybe that we feel a deeper sense of connectedness with the Sacred Heart, our spiritual heart, the heart of Christ shining in us. Coming back up slightly, back to a neutral spine. And an option to take one hand to the back of the heel and tucking your toes under brings it a little bit closer. And the other one can lift up. And try that on both sides. The option to take both hands to the back of the heel, or just returning back to the hands at the low back is also a great place to be, especially if this is your first time doing this. Toes, hands at the low back, a nice stable place. But if you do bring your hands back to your heels, keep pressing those hips forward as if you had a wall right in front of you, your hips would stay pressed into that wall. And coming back to a neutral spine and back to your child's pose. Okay, curve of the spine, being a counter. This did a couple minutes in perhaps some deep back bend, so feeling in this child's pose. Maybe tucking your head under your chin towards your chest and bringing the top of the head to the ground as you get a deeper curve of the spine, just a nice counter. Right. We're going to move into our pigeon pose. So I'll demonstrate. Alan, why don't you demonstrate with your chest down, and I'll demonstrate another version of it. So Alan's version, you can come in from downward dog or hands and knees. Another option that's a bit more accessible is to lay on your back and just take your ankle on top of the knee and reach one arm back, threading through the legs, and the other arm, other hand to the back of the thigh. You can pull that leg towards you as you press the top knee away from you. So with each breath, settling, softening it a little bit more. Noticing where you're holding any tightness or tension or gripping. Just taking a couple more breaths on this side. And gently releasing. If you're on your back, you can stay right there. You're just switching sides. If you're chest facing downwards, coming back through, hands and knees, or downward dog, stretching out that leg. And switching sides. Taking your time to get set up. If you're chest facing downwards, make sure to keep the body square and centered rather than tipping over to one side. Softening a little bit more. Just returning back to your breath. One more breath, just letting go completely. Starting to make your way out of it. If you're on your back, just staying right there. Squeezing the knees into the chest. If you're, come on back to downward dog or hands and knees for a moment, and then let's all meet down on our backs. Walk the feet between the hands and come down to lying on your back. The knees, and I squeeze into the chest, hugging your knees. Little rock side to side. And bringing the feet to the ground with the knees bent. And scoot the hips over to the left a couple inches and take the legs over to the right side, stacking your knee on top of knee, hip on top of hip. And use your right hand on the top of the outside of the left leg and turn your gaze over to the left side. Making your way back to center. Bringing the feet back to the ground, scoot the hips over to the right side a few inches as you drop the legs, the knees over to the left side, stacking knees. Feeling the twist of the spine, the openness of the chest. And making your way back to center. And any final poses here before our final resting pose. Maybe squeezing the knees and giving yourself a hug, maybe a happy baby pose, reaching inside the knees for the outer edge of the feet. Is there anything else in there? Sometimes a shoulder stand or plow people like to do at the end. Maybe the option before stretching the legs out to come into a bound angle, a supine bound angle. So taking your feet together and letting the knees fall open and your hands can rest on your belly or chest. So taking your time to get set up for your final resting pose. You can stay here in this Supta Baddha Konasana, recline bound angle, or lengthening the legs long. So coming into your final resting pose, moving into stillness, starting to turn inwards. Allow your body to soften in the ground beneath you. Softening the right arm and hand, the right shoulder, right hip and leg, the right foot, the left hand and arm and shoulder, left side of body, left leg, knee and shin, left foot and toes, back of the legs, lower back, middle back, and upper back, back of the neck and head, the skin and the muscles of the face soften. The eyes, space behind the eyes, the jaw and the teeth. The whole face and head just softens, releasing from any gripping or tightness. The chest, center of chest, left side of chest, and right side of chest. The abdomen and pelvic region. Feeling the whole body soft, at ease. And now releasing from awareness of the body and moving into the imagination, visualizing yourself walking along a road, perhaps hiking along a path. The sun lowering in the sky, walking with a companion, perhaps imagining a wisdom figure, a guide, perhaps imagining walking with Pope Francis, journeying on the road and talking about all the things that have happened. The recent days of the Easter Triduum. Just talking, imagining what you might converse about with this wisdom figure, this holy presence, be it Pope Francis or someone else. What might you say or ask? As you continue along the road, another presence comes upon you, who you don't recognize at first, yet strangely familiar and comforting. Peaceful and grounding. He asks you gently, "What are you talking about?" What are your longings, your questions, your deep desires? And this strange yet familiar presence listens to you deeply. And this presence here, who you start to realize is this divine presence, starts to tell you about God's love from the very beginning, weaving your story into the greater story of life and death and new life. Soon you begin to gain an awareness that this presence is the living Christ. Here you are on this path with this holy presence, perhaps Pope Francis, with Jesus, the living Christ. Just being in this space for a moment, dwelling in this holy presence. Finally, this presence offers you a blessing, sending you forth back into your life. What might the living Christ, the divine Spirit, bestow upon you, want you to be aware of? Take, Lord, and receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, and my entire will. All I have and call my own, you have given all to me. To you, Lord, I return it. Everything is yours. Give me only your love and your grace. That is enough for me. Bringing some awareness back to your breath. Back to your body. Bringing some movement back to the fingers and the toes. Your wrists and ankles. And as you're ready, starting to stretch the arms overhead along the ground. Bend your knees. Just taking your knees over to one side, resting in a fetal position. And very gently, maybe keeping the eyes closed, coming to your cross-legged seat on the ground. As we just take one moment just to watch the natural breath, just observing the state of the mind. Perhaps offering any final words in silence and your own prayer, words of gratitude, or just breathing and feeling the breath of God breathing life into you, this presence that is distinct and yet not separate, who loves and accepts you just the way you are. And it is inviting you to continue to grow deeper. Bringing your hands to heart center. May you feel this inner dwelling of the Christ Spirit dwelling within you. This inner flame, the Paraclete, the companion that is with you. Let us bow forward, honoring God's presence within us, around us, and beyond us. Peace, peace, peace. Amen. Well, thank you all for sharing this evening. I hope you enjoyed yourself in some part of this evening. Let me know if you got any questions or feedback. We have a couple of retreats coming up that Alan and I are going to do, and some others. So we actually switched our weekend retreat. That was going to be Memorial Weekend, but for a few different reasons had to make the switch. And so it's going to be the end of August 22nd to 24th in Clarkston here, and then another one in the fall in outside Chicago. So if you're interested in that, have a wonderful evening and hope to join again together soon. Happy Easter. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you to those who joined online. I hear the sound maybe wasn't great, so I will follow up with you. Please send me an email. Let me know how your experience went. Good night.